I'm sure you've seen that Morrissey has been upsetting a lot of people in the last week or so. I did a video on this yesterday about how Morrissey supports Anne-Marie Waters and the For Britain Party, which is a huge shock to everyone. More so a shock that he's supported a political party than he has actually said something about halal meat, because we know he's against that. But with this news, we've seen the left completely melting down. I've seen there's this range of merchandise that came out called Shut Up Morrissey. People just can't stand the fact that Morrissey has a different opinion to them. There was this great article on the Daily Mash called Morrissey's Become Your Dad. Brilliant, love it. But also there was an article on the BBC, the allegedly unbiased BBC that is. And it was by a guy called Tom Gherkin, and it asks, is it possible to separate art from the artist? And in the article he quotes all these people on Twitter who are complaining that now they know what Morrissey's views are, they're going to find it so difficult to listen to Morrissey's music ever again. But why are we even asking this question, you know? The fact that the BBC asked this question, can we separate art from the artist? I don't think they've ever asked that about anyone, ever. Unless you're talking about Hitler or something, but not many people are a fan of Hitler's art. Can we separate art from the artist? I mean, doesn't this come from a deep-rooted assumption that the left has the moral high ground on this? Can we separate the art from the artist? I've never heard them ask that about anybody before, ever. And suddenly, an artist, a popular artist who people like, comes out with some views that may be considered even mildly right-wing, but frankly aren't really that right-wing. And suddenly, there's chaos. Suddenly there's chaos. Can we carry on supporting this guy's art when he's got such horrific views? How dare they? How dare they sit on their high horses and think they have the moral high ground on these issues? How dare they assume that we're all bad people? How dare these people? I mean, it shows the conceitedness of them. They refuse to believe that they could ever be wrong. But it shows that these people are anti-intellectual and they are ideologues, not Democrats, and they're only interested in pushing an agenda and silencing dissenters. That's what this shows us. You know, and the fact that they're doing this while Morrissey is left-wing. He's an animal rights activist, he's anti-monarchy. So why are the left treating Morrissey like he's unhinged? Why are they treating Morrissey like he's crazy? Why? I mean, again, it comes down to this deep-rooted sense of superiority, frankly. And today I asked people on my Twitter if they would share something about other artists, left-wing artists. Because I was wondering, has anyone ever written an article asking, can we separate the art from the artist, about left-wing artists who have said some really horrific stuff? Now, I could remember some, but I thought I'll ask other people for some advice as well. And what I found was really interesting. What happened on this tweet was really interesting because it proved my point about the left being conceited and smarmy. So here are some of the tweets that I got back from these left-wing verified tick people. There was one guy, some smarmy reporter from The Enemy and Metro said, quote, Taylor Swift's Red, when played backwards at double speed, outlined her vision for a communist takeover America. Okay. There was another one, some bloke called Hussein Kesvani said, famously left-wing band Disturbed once said down with the sickness, clearly voicing their support for fully socialised Venezuelan healthcare and scant disregard for the free market. What? And another one came from a Guardian reporter. Quote, Rick Ashley, it's Astley, if you're going to rickroll me, get the name right. Rick Ashley once said that he was never going to give me up, but to be honest, I haven't heard from him for years and he doesn't even follow me on Twitter. And then there was this, and this, and this, and this. And doesn't this just sum up these people? They couldn't possibly believe that their precious pop stars, their precious celebrities, other than Morrissey, might have said something bad. And by the way, I struggle to see what Morrissey's done here that's wrong. But there are examples, which people have kindly been sending me throughout the day, of left-wing celebrities and left-wing artists who have said some really horrific stuff. And I have never seen an article on the BBC asking, can we separate these artists from their ideas? So let's have a look at some. Lily Allen claimed Rochdale abuse victims would have been raped or abused by somebody else, even if the sex gangs didn't exist. Isn't that victim blaming, Lily? Isn't that blaming the victim? How atrocious is that? Where was the article asking, can we separate her from her art? Billy Bragg. He was on the television only today talking to Joe Coburn perfectly pleasantly about the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. And he's just treated as if he's just some political guy, but actually he's a hardcore socialist, some might say bordering on communist. He spent a lifetime advocating for Corbyn-esque socialism. He supports Corbyn openly, despite him being a terrorist sympathiser. Bragg also sings the red flag with Corbyn. This is a song, by the way, that's used by communists all over the world. So can we separate the art from Billy Bragg? Can we? How about Lido Pimienta? Never heard of her before. She told white people at her concert to move to the back of the audience. Lovely. Bruce Springsteen, remember he cancelled a concert in North Carolina in protest of a law that didn't allow men to use women's toilets. Rapper XXXTentacion, now I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, never heard of him either, but he made a music video which showed him lynching a young white boy. Have a look at this. Sorry I had to show you that, by the way, but look at that. Can we separate him from his art? Zara Larsson, another person I've never heard of. She's some famous left-wing singer who openly admits to hating all men. Emma Watson, the girl from Harry Potter, arch-feminist who, she's part of the He for She program with the United Nations. She posts refugees welcome, but also says that she's concerned about the safety of women. Can we separate her radical politics that puts women in danger from her art, from her acting? Green Day said Trump voters aren't welcome at their shows and should stop listening to their music. Madonna said she's thought about blowing up the White House.
Yes, I am outraged. Yes, I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
So if we're going to talk about crazy people, if we're going to talk about separating art from the artist, why aren't we looking at all these nutcases, these nasty pieces of work from the left, who have said these things over and over with impunity? Are we ever going to ask, can we separate them from their art? Or are we going to end up with all these lefties, as I've seen today on Twitter, continuing and perpetuating this idea that nobody on the left can ever do anything wrong? Are we just going to let these people carry on, suggesting that anyone who dares say anything that might be deemed right-wing is evil, unhinged, nasty, has become your dad? It shows just what kind of people they are. They're anti-democrats, they are ideologues, and they care only about one thing, and that's silencing anybody who dare have a different opinion to them. Democracy? No, it doesn't matter. Fairness in culture? No, it doesn't matter. And no matter how good someone's art is, no matter how good, if they say something right-wing, there's something wrong with them. If you like that and want to see more, remember to like and subscribe and download the new Rebel app from the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.